It was a habit, I think, for the kids to run down to the corner, and the boy grabbed his briefcase and they walked down the street together talking till they got to their house. And we were doing that little scene, and while we were doing it...
Kevin Costner is known as one of Hollywood's most steady and loyal figures, a man praised for professionalism and calm discipline. For decades, he avoided conflict and rarely spoke ill of anyone. But behind that quiet exterior were memories. He carried for years stories of actors whose ego, cruelty, or disrespect pushed him beyond his limits. When Costner finally opened up, he described them as the darkest people he ever worked with. And once you hear what happened, it is easy to understand why. One of the earliest names tied to this bitterness was Marlon Brando, whose legendary talent came wrapped in chaos. Costner entered the project expecting collaboration and focus, but instead found disorder from day one. Brando arrived late, ignored scripts, and treated the set like his personal playground. Scenes meant to carry emotional weight were derailed by strange improvisations and careless behavior. Costner felt humiliated watching carefully prepared moments collapse into confusion. What angered him most was not Brando's eccentricity, but his complete disregard for everyone else's work. From that experience onward, Costner swore never to work beside him again. Frank Sinatra followed a similar pattern of disrespect. Sinatra treated film sets as optional commitments, arriving late and distracted while everyone else waited. Costner, who valued preparation and punctuality, felt the insult deeply. During one intense scene, Sinatra openly mocked his performance and behaved like the moment was beneath him. Costner responded calmly but firmly, making it clear that storytelling was not a nightclub act. From that day forward, their relationship remained cold and distant, built on silent resentment rather than confrontation. Richard Burton struck at something far more personal. At a Beverly Hills gathering, Burton publicly mocked Costner's moral seriousness, reducing his performances to sermons instead of art. The laughter that followed cut deeply. Over time, Burton continued to belittle him in interviews, framing Costner as stiff and self-righteous. When a potential project tried to pair them together, Costner refused outright, unwilling to work with someone who openly ridiculed his values. For him, Burton represented contempt for everything he believed cinema should stand for. Then there was John Wayne, a clash rooted not in acting style but in ideology. Wayne symbolized a hardline version of America that Costner fundamentally opposed. Their differences exploded during a public event when Wayne mocked Costner's political beliefs in front of an audience. Costner responded calmly but decisively, drawing a clear boundary that could never be crossed again. From that night on, they avoided each other entirely, their mutual disdain sealed without further words. Finally, Kirk Douglas represented rivalry at its most corrosive. Douglas constantly compared himself to Costner, often belittling him in interviews and private conversations. When Costner won critical acclaim and awards, Douglas reacted with bitterness rather than grace. Though their feud never erupted publicly, it simmered quietly for decades. Only much later did Douglas admit that his resentment came from envy and admiration mixed together. These stories reveal a side of Hollywood rarely discussed, where egos collide and respect is often the first casualty. If any of these revelations surprised you, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss untold stories from Hollywood Bulletin.